And here's where Zach and I go and talk to Dr. Bob.
Well, actually, I talked to Dr. Bob because Nikki...
Oh, I didn't talk to Dr. Bob?
No, because you were Miss Diva that day, and you're like, I don't look good, I'm not getting on camera.
That sounds
Drama.
like me.
Drama. She's drama. Here's the interview. Alright, so today we're sitting with Dr. Bob Sears. Some of you may know him from his episode on Dr. Oz about autism, or you may have read his book, The Autism Book, or you may have read his book, The Vaccine Book. So today we're going to talk to him a little bit about these two books and a little bit about what he does. So, let's talk about Dr. Oz. How was it doing the show?
It was a lot of fun. I was very fortunate to be on that episode. You know, it's a very... They were going to do a whole show on autism, and then they kind of narrowed it down to, you know, just to discuss causes of autism. And yeah, I wanted to go on there and, you know, just talk about my perspective on vaccines and the kind of advice I like to share with people. I think Dr. Oz did a very good job of really portraying, you know, the mood of the audience and
which we don't always get to see.
Right. It is a pretty accurate representation of what went on that day. They didn't do very much editing at all.
Which I'm glad, because usually they do, and they filter out and make it very biased. Yeah. Dr. Brown didn't seem to like you very much.
Yeah, I think that she and the entire American Academy of Pediatrics, we agree to disagree. Well, I agree to disagree, and they don't agree to disagree, so to speak. But yeah, there's a difference of opinion between us.
Yeah, she was pretty vicious on the show.
Yeah.
She's like, Dr. Bob, and I was like, calm down. Okay, so your book, The Vaccine Book, you have an alternative vaccine schedule in this book, correct?
Yes.
Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Well, you know, a lot of parents have a lot of questions about vaccines, and I think probably by far the number one worry that I hear from parents is just about the schedule of vaccines, the way we give so many vaccines together to such young babies.
Right.
And so as a pediatrician, I became a pediatrician 13 years ago, and even way back then, to me it didn't make sense to give babies so many vaccines, especially for diseases that the baby had no risk of catching.
Right.
So as a pediatrician, I decided, okay, I'm only going to vaccinate babies for the really potentially deadly diseases, and I'm going to vaccinate more carefully, more gradually. And so I'm not giving babies so many vaccines all at once, and that kind of just led to me writing about that practice and what I like to do as a pediatrician, so that other parents could make that same choice if they felt that it was important to them.
Which is wonderful. So you say that, you know, delaying the vaccines you think does help.
You know, you got to be honest, Zach, with research, we don't know if it helps. For me, common sense would say that it might help.
Right.
And I just feel more comfortable that way as a pediatrician practicing that approach. But actually, I don't know based on research, because we haven't done the research yet.
Right, which gets to the point we need to do more research.
Yes.
You know, and I think there are too many doctors out there that are like, you know, they're too quick to kind of disprove stuff like this, but at the same time, they're not really willing to look into it.
Right.
So, okay, and now the autism book. Now, I started reading this one. This one is really good because it has, you know, the everyday activist or the parent would obviously know a lot about autism, but it, you know, at first when I started to read it, I was like, okay, this is going to be, you know, everything that I already know. But then I read it and I was like, you know, there's actually a lot more, you know, a couple things that I didn't know. It really was easy to read, and it was really, it covered everything in a very, you know, easy to grasp way, which I think is really great. So what are some of the things you talk about in this book?
Well, I like your perspective on that, Zach, because autism treatment and diagnosis is a journey of years.
Right.
And there's no way that any one book can tell you exactly everything you need to know. So I wanted to put in parents' hands something that any newly diagnosed family could read and get a good overview of almost everything they need to know to get started. put them down the road to finding effective treatments and getting the right evaluations, and so I wanted to give parents a place to start, and so it's basically, it guides parents through how to identify autism and how to diagnose it. Of course, any parent picking up the book is already going to be doing that, but it just kind of gives them another look at it. But then it really talks about what kind of educational and developmental therapies you should be receiving. It talks about a lot of the theories on causes. But my favorite part of the book is really just a hands-on, practical way to get started on finding and deciding what vitamins are right for you. What are the best nutrients for your body to help your body and your brain start working better.
And you have your own line, don't you?
No, I don't. Well, my father does.
Okay.
He has a line of vitamins. They're not specifically geared towards children with autism, and whereas certain vitamins really are specifically geared toward those kids. So I just wanted to give parents everything they could learn to get started with treatments. But then you have to take the next step in finding physicians and other parents to help guide you, to help guide you for many, many years through treatment.
Awesome. Very awesome. So you have a new book coming out, right? I think I saw that outside, The Pediatrician.
Yeah, it's The Portable Pediatrician. It's out already. It came out a few weeks ago. It's a whole guide to pediatric healthcare. Getting through illnesses, guides to your checkups, that you have with your babies and your children, and just a whole guide for parents to help get them through diseases and how to stay healthy as well, how to prevent illness.
That's also really important.
Yeah.
And this is your fourth book?
Oh, I don't know, Zach. And many, many books in our family's library. Awesome. So
I noticed right here you have the 10 reasons why kids like Dr. Bob.
Yeah, I love kids. To be a pediatrician, you really have to enjoy children. And I also love talking with parents. I love relating to parents, answering questions.
And that's good, because not a lot of doctors like that. They're more of they keep the distance, and it's good. I think that comforts parents to know that the doctor's really friendly with them. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure, Zach. Yeah, very happy to be on the show.
All right, Dr. Bob's books, the autism book, the vaccine book, the baby book, the
pediatrician.
Portable pediatrician.
The portable pediatrician.
Hey, we have an app too. The portable pediatrician app, which you can download onto any of your Apple products, and it's like a complete encyclopedia of all the illnesses, A to Z, and how to treat them and how to get through them.
I want my own app.
Make one.
I don't know how to make apps. She was doing the behind the scenes type of thing.
Exactly.
Which, when you don't look good, enough to be in front of the camera, you end up behind the camera.
That happens sometimes. To the best of us. So these are Dr. Bob's books. The vaccine book, which Zach talked about earlier, talks about making the right decision for your child and maybe following a recommended vaccine schedule, and how to ask for vaccines that don't have preservatives in it and things that are unnecessary.
What I like about this book, because I started reading it out by my pool. Jealous. You have a pool too, don't you?
Keep going.
Okay. What I liked about this book is it talks about every chapter is a new vaccine, and he gives you everything you need to know, the good stuff, the bad stuff, and then it's up to you whether you think it's necessary or not. So, it's not biased at all. It's really good. I like it.
And then the autism book.
Right.
So it helps with early detection. It tells you what you need to know, what to look for, or if you're already in diagnosis, kind of which way to go, which way you can go.
Yeah. It's from the parenting library for parents.
Thank you, Dr. Bob.
Thank you, Dr. Bob. And we will be right back with the Canary Club.